Coronation Street, P694/309, Part 1, Take 1.
Edited.
Morning, nurse.
Oh, morning, sister. Oh, Mrs. Ryan asked me to ask, if she's a good girl, could you let her have a little trot round the ward this morning?
As long as she promises not to run. And how's our mystery lady this morning?
Well, the same, sister. Doesn't seem to be any change.
Yeah, you and all. I've no sympathy for you. You. Elsie, did you have to leave that there?
Not really, no. I could balance it on my head and fill it with hot water. That'll suit you.
Wouldn't mind if it had ever seen clean hot water. Hey, you know he makes one bucket of this last to Mirabelle Street.
That's what's called conservation.
Is he, Tech? It's called sheer flipping idleness. Only thing you're trying to conserve is your rotten energy.
Registered.
What little you've got of it.
Morning, little Hewitt. Can you hear him insulting me?
Go away, I'm dead.
I hope there's another one.
There isn't another one. I'm a very individual catastrophe, me.
Well, it's funny, Len come downstairs for breakfast looking exactly like that this morning.
Oh, yeah. Did he buy his nighties and marks and sparks and all?
Anyhow, what was you lot supping last night? Paraffin?
And why wasn't I asking to sup it with you?
I just must have mixed me drinks, that's all. It was supposed to be a very happy occasion.
Been happier if I'd been there to take the place of the anniversary bride, wouldn't
Well, Len says that Elsie's been took badly or something in Sheffield.
Oh, tummy bug. And I've got the makings of a very good-looking corpse. There's two reeds you can save.
Oh, no sympathy with you at all. Nobody tells you to overindulge. It doesn't make sense. You fetch it on yourself.
Fetch what on myself,
It's only a
Stanley?
joke. I'm only a joke.
There's still nothing on her identity.
Unfortunately.
Well, rather odd.
No one of her descriptions has been reported missing in the London area so far.
Well, there's no guarantee she's from this area, as she could be from anywhere.
Oh, didn't the driver see her? The man who knocked her down?
She more or less knocked herself down, running out in front of his taxi.
There's no suggestion.
Oh, no. She wouldn't have done it deliberately. The man says she just seemed vague, didn't realise the car was there. And he's quite certain there was no one with her, so are the witnesses, plus the fact that there was no handbag.
Someone could have taken it in the commotion.
No, driver says he would have noticed. Out of the cab like a flash. No, we've got nothing to go on. It's almost as though she wanted to be anonymous.
Well, except that.
Well, we've had a look at that. Brand new, receipt inside from a leather goods shop in Marylebone High Street, that's all.
Happy anniversary, Geordie. Ah.
Well, I suppose we'd better check it. There's just a chance she might have paid by cheque or told the assistant something about herself.
Hmm? While she was shopping?
When a woman's buying a special present for a man, Doctor, she's not just shopping. It can often take her an hour to decide what she thinks he'd like, and another hour to convince herself she's right.
Yes, and then he takes it back and changes it for the half dozen pairs of socks that he really needs.
Still engaged?
What do women find to talk about at this time in the morning?
Men.
Was that Stano done quizzing you outside?
Oh, yes, he just let it drop as though he knew Elsie hadn't been home all night.
Yes, I believe that.
Jerry told him she'd been too poorly in Sheffield. I could have kicked him.
Why?
Well, you see, with Hilda Ogden, the way you do it, you say that she's run off to be head belly dancer with a sex-mad oil chic. That way he'd know that, you was hiding something really scandalous, like a tummy bug in Sheffield.
That's a good point.
Good morning.
Good morning. I remember that. Hello.
Oh, anniversary card.
Yes, it's from Madam. Not posted in Saudi Arabia. We'll keep that between ourselves if you don't mind.
Of course.
Manchester.
Yeah, she must have posted it before she got on the train. She can't have posted it in Sheffield.
But isn't that where she is?
Exactly, yes, that's why exactly she couldn't post it there. Lucille will explain.
In words of 98 syllables, Hilda Ogden.
Oh, dear. She's not spinning one of her penny dreadfuls.
Not yet. Alan's just sending her up. It's a sort of advanced defence tactics.
Why should he be defensive? Elsie couldn't help being taken ill.
I think he's just a bit hurt she didn't ring up. I mean, she can't be that ill. She couldn't pick her phone up and wish him happy anniversary.
Oh, I don't know. Food poisoning can be pretty nasty. How is she today? That's what I really popped in to ask.
Alan's been trying to get through for an hour. It's engaged. Sheila always was a gas bag.
Oh, it's a shame, though. I always think there's nothing more miserable than being ill away from your own home.
And if I can get my doctor to prescribe a 6'2" blonde RAF lad called Ian with muscles from Aberdeen, I have no objection to stopping on the sick another 3 months, love bet.
Oh, if his muscles are from Aberdeen, I wonder where the rest of him's from.
I'm glad she's found someone. I think she's entitled to a bit of a good time after what she's gone through.
I've still got it all to go through, haven't I?
Look, I've told you not to worry. It'll all sort itself out.
I'm not so sure. We've not long had witness how the public likes a big scandal. Lo, how the mighty have fallen. It's not that I put myself in that class, but still.
You know, I held a gal's hand once. Do you know what happened?
Ah, your Hilda clobbered you.
No, here comes the bride and a bill for 20 suppers.
So beware, Mr. Mayor. Unless you have a special predilection for ham salads.
Speaking of steak and onion pie...
Who was?
Well, it's all food, isn't it? What am I going to have for my dinner?
You know, Uncle Albert, I think if someone started talking about transcendental meditation, you'd relate it back to fish and chips.
Well, at my age, I need sustenance.
The nourishment of the soul is as important as the nourishment of the body, yea, verily, and forsooth.
And what is all that supposed to mean?
That means you can get your own grub tonight, mate, because I'm going out.
Ah, goggling with the headmaster's daughter again.
Likely as not.
Heck, I wish I could get a pretty young woman to invite me out to dinner.
Yeah, I wish I could, too.
Hey?
But I'm working on it.
So I thought I'd bring it back and see if there was any news this end.
Unchanged.
Still?
Afraid so.
How long can she go on like that? I know, it could be months or even...
Well, let's hope not. And the salesgirl couldn't tell you anything?
Oh, she remembered her, of course. She's a pretty striking-looking woman, but she just handed over that wallet to be wrapped up, paid cash and left.
Didn't say anything?
Well, nothing that could help. She's pretty sure she's northern, but that's all.
That still leaves you an awful lot of leeway, doesn't it?
We'll find out who her people are eventually. Could be that's when their troubles really start.
You always leave your doors wide open. Gods!
Oh, Dad's pottering about in the garden. He must be around the back. He always leaves all the doors wide open. In winter, a howling gale goes right through the house.
Well, can I ask what you're doing, or is that classified information?
What am I doing? Well, do you know anything about hi-fi?
Or it's something you play music on, with or through?
Basically, this amplifier feeds those 2 stereo speakers, and you feed into it the output of this little box of tricks.
Cassette tape recorder?
Good lad. Go to the top of the class.
Yes, miss.
Now, sit tight. This is where it begins to get a bit complicated. This is a birthday present from one rather marvellous dad.
Oh, when is your birthday?
Shut up and listen. It's a super-duper new cassette unit, but it doesn't have a preamplifier.
When?
Next Thursday. So I've bought this components kit.
Thursday.
And all I need to do now is to make a preamplifier to bring up the low-level output of this to the correct level for this main amplifier. Got it? Any questions?
Yes, miss. Just
what?
one.
What?
Why have you put that capacitor there?
What?
Well, you've only got C5 where C4 should be and C4 where C5 should be, that's all.
Oh, yes. Oh, you rotten thing.
Nothing but the worst.
Letting me show off like that.
Well, I do have little glimmerings of bits of knowledge about certain things, rather surprisingly.
Well, you can hold that and make yourself really useful.
Right.
You didn't have to send me up.
Well, you were doing very well without my help.
It's just you look so shocked seeing me with a soldering iron in my hands instead of a pair of knitting needles. I couldn't resist trying to dent your male ego.
Ah, well, that's where you made a mistake, you see, because it's practically undentable. And when it comes to male chauvinist piggery, I'm the king of the sty.
Know anything about aphids?
Careful, he's probably written the definitive work.
Green fly, damn pests.
Well, how's the electronic wizardry going?
Slowly.
Well, if you're going to rope him in as sorcerer's apprentice, you might as well feed the man. You know it's after 1:30.
Good Lord, is it?
Yeah, unless you've already eaten.
Well, actually, I just popped round to ask Elaine if she'd like to come out tonight.
Nonsense. She'll knock something up for us here, all three of us.
Oh, yes, I'll have a carbonade du boeuf on the cooker in a trice. Well, bacon and egg, anyway.
Sure she doesn't mind?
Lad, if she did, she'd have said so. No danger. That daughter of mine has her faults, but dissembling is not one of them.
Inclined to call a spade, eh?
Can be a mite painful on occasion, but at least you always know where you stand. Unfortunately, that kind of honesty is at a premium these days.
What do you tell lies for? Oh, listen, Sheila, you was doing nobody a favour, least of all, Alan. I mean, what am I going to tell him when he gets back? No, he's not here at the moment. He's been called out to a breakdown. Sheila, will you shut up a minute and tell me? Elsie's not there? You mean she's never been there? Oh, you're mad, you are. Now, come on, let's get this straight. If she's not there, where is she?
Coronation Street, P 694/309, Part 2, Take 1.
Nurse.
Oh, sorry, sister.
We're short-staffed as it is without you standing there daydreaming. Now, have you changed Mrs. Bull's
I was
dressing?
just going to, sister.
Quite.
Well, I was just thinking how she might be anybody. She might be a murderess, for all we know.
I hardly think so.
She must have had something pretty big on her mind.
It might have been nothing more than how to stretch the week's housekeeping. You know, she must have been quite a beauty, but I don't think she's ever been rich. Those hands have been in too many sinkfuls of greasy water.
My, you're a proper Sherlock Holmes, sister. Here, do you reckon Geordie's her old man or her boyfriend?
Nurse, Mrs. Bull. And nurse, straighten your cap.
Yes, sister.
He did? When, do you know? Friday. And he's still down there? No, I don't expect you to keep tabs on him. It's just that very little escapes your beady eye. No, it's not important. It's just someone wanted to get in touch with him. Yes, we must do that sometime. OK, try.
Any news of the weary wanderer?
I don't know.
Well, how do you mean you don't know? Elsie's either back or she isn't.
I phoned Sheila a bit back.
Yeah, well.
Elsie's never been there.
Of course she's been there. She was there last night. She was taken ill there last night. Sheila told Alan herself.
She was lying.
What the hell would she do that for? Why?
Well, it seems Elsie asked her to, to do her a favour. She phoned her up a couple of days ago. She said she had to go and see someone, and she wanted us lot to think she was with Sheila.
Us lot meaning Alan.
Well, mainly.
So Sheila was just an alibi?
Oh, don't say that.
Well, what else?
Well, alibi sounds as if she was up to no good.
Yeah.
If she's not at Sheila's, where is she?
Has Sheila no idea?
No, and this time she wasn't lying. She's worried and all.
Then why did she spin Alan all those cobblers last night about Elsie being taken ill there?
Well, I suppose she thought she'd be back by today.
Have you told him that?
No, he's out in town on a breakdown. He'll be back soon. What'll I tell him?
There's a chance that she might come back before him, though.
Hey, you don't suppose she's had an accident, do you?
Oh, no, we'd have definitely heard.
Well, why hasn't she phoned, then?
There is one little nasty explanation that springs to mind. If you were away on a dirty weekend, would you ring up from your happy little love nest to give your husband your regards?
Oh, give over. Who with?
Dennis Maxwell was up here last week.
That's a boss, it's business.
They had something going between them, you know. I'm not at all sure that it was as harmless as she made out.
Ah, she'd never.
You reckon? Mind you, he might still be here, for all I know.
No, he went back to London on Friday. That was one of the girls from the warehouse I was on to when you come in.
Friday?
Oh, I don't know what to think or what to do.
For the next couple of hours, do nothing. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that she turns up before him.
And if not, what do I tell him?
Well, I don't know. I suppose the truth.
Only we don't know what that is, do we?
Right. They were a lovely young couple.
Floating around the cosmos in a shower of sparks.
Ah, yeah, but what a beautiful way to go. Ah.
Well, looks like we'll be around for a bit longer.
Yeah, I never really did doubt your efficiency, Miss Perkins.
I'm sure you didn't, Mr. Barlow. According to Timothy, I'm not so much efficient as single-minded.
Oh?
Yes, he reckons I only do certain things tolerably well at the expense of others, which I don't do at all.
Well, doesn't that apply to everybody, except Superman?
I don't know. Most people manage to spread themselves about a bit over a range of abilities. I concentrate.
And what particular abilities don't you spread yourself over?
Well, I would have thought one was quite obvious.
Of course! You can't balance a pint mug on your head and ride a unicycle over Niagara Falls blindfolded.
Oh, Ken, you had lunch here.
Very excellent staple bacon and egg.
For staple, read basic.
Ye gods, she can not only throw a nifty little high-fi together, but she also yearns to be the Earth Mother stirring the stew.
Comedian who wants to play Hamlet?
Well, in reverse. Does Timothy really think you sacrificed your femininity to your intelligence?
Did I say that?
Implied. But if he did, he's very wrong. You've got more than your fair share of both.
Oh, Ken, it's sweet of you to do your Sir Lancelot bit, but honestly, it wasn't meant as a criticism.
No?
No, as a matter of fact, single-mindedness is a quality he very much admires.
Oh, well, bully for him. What is he, a single-minded millionaire or something?
Publisher, actually, specialising in travel and politics.
Very good combination. I know lots of politicians who should travel far. Unfortunately, they never do.
Being snide about politicians is a very facile pastime.
But harmless.
Arbitrary and unfair. OK, a lot of them are a load of junk, but enough of them aren't. We only do it to take our minds off our own deficiencies.
I didn't know she was Westminster's PRO.
Oh, she just automatically springs teeth bare to the defence of any underprivileged minority. Not like the government.
For that, I've a good mind not to give you any chocolate cake.
Who made it, madam?
Who suggested you make it?
You really are a family of varied talents.
What? Oh, I just throw a few eggs and a handful of cocoa and such stuff into a bowl and hope for the best.
You're too modest.
Family trade.
My finest hour is still to come, making little iced buns for Timothy's stalwart campaigner.
The publisher?
Yes, he's roped us all in. Win or lose, he's going to have a thank you do.
Well, of course.
What is it exactly he's trying to win?
Well, a by-election. He's standing as Liberal candidate. Why do you think she was so protective just now to all those poor, defenceless little MPs?
Oh, it's you.
Oh, don't sound so thrilled. She's not here, is she?
Well, no.
Oh, it's been a cow of a day. I've been on Hepton Store Moor, most of it. Didn't get to a telephone till 3 o'clock.
Sheffield?
Well, there's no answer. I can only think she's on her way. I feel clobbered.
Yeah, you look it. I'll mash the tea, yeah?
Wish the hell she was here. She's only been gone 2 days. I miss her like hell. But then I suppose you think that's typical middle-aged sentimental rubbish, you younger, tough generation.
Oh, I just think we're a bit more realistic, that's all.
There's been no message at all.
Well, yes, actually, I did manage to get through.
Oh, come on.
Elsie's feeling a lot better. So, Sheila's taken her for a spin, you know, to get her a bit of get her legs back.
What is that all?
Well, she hopes to be home tomorrow. And she sends the love.
That's most extraordinary.
We have tried, Doctor. We still are.
Yes, I'm sure you have. Look, I'm not casting any aspersions about your department's efficiency. Well, obviously, it's about 99% more difficult for you to trace who she is if nobody's reported her missing.
Which does seem to be the case. We've circulated her description to all areas, but she's not on any of the missing person lists.
I mean, officially, she's not even a missing person.
Well, there must be somebody. She must have someone waiting for her somewhere.
I don't know. There's an awful lot of people who haven't. They live out their entire lives in dreary, anonymous rooms. Nobody seems to know whether they're there or not.
You don't have to tell me that, Doctor. Often the first notice anyone takes of them is when we're called in to knock down the door because the milk bottles have piled up or the dog's been howling for a week. And then it's often too late. But in your opinion, Dr. Sinner, does she look like that kind of woman to lead that kind of life?
Point taken. So now, what?
Just keep on trying, hoping for the best.
Yes. So do we.
Have a good dinner, did you?
Uncle Albert, since I came in, I think you must have asked me that question about 1,800 times, to be precise.
What he's really asking is how you got on with the headmaster's daughter.
Yes, I know what he's really up. How do you know?
Oh, he told me all about it.
Oh, he did he?
Well, I didn't like him under the Official Secrets Act.
As a matter of fact, she just happens to be a rather pleasant girl that I've chatted to a couple of times, and that is all.
Yay. Well, anyway, I think the country's had its ration of romance for this year. We don't want to surf it, do we? We may sicken and so die.
Speak for yourself, young man.
And in future, I'd be very glad if you didn't go bandying my every move right, left and centre.
Well, look, when you get to my age, you run out of small talk.
Oh, yes, and since when has my personal life been small talk?
Now, look, you just this minute said there was no to it. Now, make your flipping mind up.
Kenneth? Kenneth, dear, I shouldn't let him get you down. You must lead your life as you wish to.
That's easier said than done.
Yes, but I just feel it would be an awful pity if his meddling, what's the expression Billy used to use, put the mockers on.
So would I, Mrs. Walker. But I'm afraid if anybody puts some mockers on this, it won't be Uncle Albert, it'll be me.
Oh, can't imagine that.
She really is a very exceptional person.
And so are you.
Thanks, but I'm not in her league.
If she's let you think that, Kenneth, then she is not special. She is just arrogant and insensitive.
No, she hasn't. And the incredible thing about her is she doesn't realise how special she is. And she's got this most marvellous honesty, and I think it's catching.
If you mean by that you've taken a long, clear look at yourself and you don't much care for what you see, that isn't honesty, Kenneth.
No?
No, dear. That's cold feet.
Are you playing darts or spearing mice?
Hey?
There's more darts on the flipping floor than the flipping board.
I call it quits. I'm not on phone tonight.
What's the matter? Something wrong with your love life?
Perhaps he's annoyed because I told him off for burning toast at breakfast.
When our elder does that, I hide her curlers.
Yeah, I don't think he does wear curlers, actually, Stan.
No.
Perhaps I could hide his razor, eh? Huh. No, it'd never work. Lazy slob would just grow a beard.
Well. Sorry, it took me so long. Try, John. Couldn't even phone because he'd heard.
He's back then?
Yeah, about an hour ago.
There's no point in asking the obvious.
Elsie, no.
No, I could tell by your face. What did he say?
I didn't tell him.
No, I didn't think you would. That's why I didn't go round there. I couldn't look him in the eye.
Well, what do you think it's like for me? I mean, knowing what we know.
Well, we don't know anything, do we? You know, we can hazard a few intelligent guesses.
He wanted to drive over and get her.
What, to Sheffield?
Yeah, so I persuaded him she was dead groggy, you know, and a car ride's the last thing she'd want. Anyway, I said she was going to bed with a sleeping tablet, so there was no point in phoning.
You think of everything, don't you?
Oh, well, I've had to. Honestly, do you think it's nice for me to lie after a rotten lie?
No, you're doing everything from the best possible motives, love. But I can't help wondering.
If I'm doing the right thing. Well, only Elsie can tell me that when she gets back.
Whenever that might be.
Well, if it's not tomorrow, I'm going to have to tell him, aren't I?
Time, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, come on.
Very bad manners to keep your hot water bottles waiting. Now, come on. No, you've had enough. Hello. Try.